Tonight on this Halloween edition of UCentral News. Election day is quickly approaching and UCentral has all your latest election coverage. In social media, our campus just got spookier. Riley Townsend shows us how students and faculty are celebrating. In sports, can Broncos football bounce back? Ian Nickel has the answers. And finally, I sat down with our homecoming king and queen. Hear what made their moment even more special. All this and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening and happy Halloween. I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Maureen Dirk. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
In the final days of the race for the White House, polls show little change in several battleground states with no clear leader. In Michigan, a new Washington Post poll shows 47% of likely voters voting for Vice President Kamala Harris compared to 46% supporting former President Donald Trump. The most recent CNN poll was also close with 48% supporting Harris and 45% supporting Trump. Those numbers are all within the margin of error. The race is also neck and neck in both Georgia and North Carolina, two key southern battleground states. A CNN poll conducted by SRSS shows 48% of likely voters in Georgia support Trump compared to 47% for Harris. And in North Carolina, the numbers are flip-flopped with 48% supporting Harris and 47% for Trump.
A Chinese student at the University of Michigan is facing felony charges, accused of not only registering to vote, but casting a ballot in the presidential election, despite not being a U.S. citizen.
It's hard to walk around a college campus and not realize it's election season, and at the University of Michigan, early voting is already underway.
Everybody here, they shove in your face like, oh, are you voting, vote early, like everybody needs to vote, and like they don't even ask if you're American, and we have a lot of international students.
But Michigan junior Max Friedman was not happy to learn a fellow student from China, who is not a U.S. citizen, was able to not only register to vote, but also cast a ballot on campus.
So I'm not surprised that it happened, but I'm surprised that like it actually counted and they actually got credit for voting.
According to the Secretary of State's office, the 19-year-old student went to the campus early voting site Sunday, registered to vote using his UMID card, showed documents proving residency in Ann Arbor, and signed a document identifying as a U.S. citizen. Since the ballot was filled out and put into the tabulator, there's no way to take it back, and it will count this election.
I was very surprised. I didn't expect it to be possible because when I voted, it required a lot of proof.
freshman Benjamin Zhang spent a decade in China but was born in the U.S. However, he has friends who aren't citizens, like Xing Shenli, also from China, who said he's not surprised the student who voted is facing a felony charge.
I kind of expect that because I know how voting is the right as a citizen, and it's a big deal. So any foreigner don't want to mess with it.
The issue was discovered after the student contacted the Ann Arbor clerk's office and asked to get the ballot back. The clerk then reported it to police.
This is the one time it was documented. How many other times is this happening that we don't really know about?
In a statement, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson said, quote, "Non-citizen voting is an extremely isolated and rare event. Investigations in multiple states and nationwide have found no evidence of large numbers of non-citizens registering to vote. Even less common is a non-citizen actually casting a ballot. When it does happen, we take it extremely seriously."
Well, with the election just right around the corner and Oklahomans already out with early voting, I wonder what the weather's looking like.
We're going to toss on over to Carly for our first look at weather.
Thank you, Shanice and Maureen. We're going to take a look at our current conditions right now. It is 64 degrees outside, sunny. Winds have dialed down from these past couple of days, coming in from the northeast at about 6 miles per hour with about those 9 mile per hour wind gusts. Humidity is at a 50%, but it is making us feel just a little bit hotter than what it is at a 67. Even though we do have dry temperatures today, we did have a lot of rainfall last night. In the past 24 hours, the northeastern part of the state got the most of our rain, with Miami with 2.5 inches of rain, Ponca City with 1.6. Unfortunately, our panhandle did not get any of that rain, with OKC metro area at 0.34. inches of rain. Looking into our forecast going into the weekend, we are going to see some more rain and the possible thunderstorms as well. Saturday is going to be at a 75%, with Sunday at 60% and Monday at 55%. But looking ahead, we do have a cool and dry weather this evening, which is going to be perfect for our trick-or-treaters this evening. Temperatures are going to be staying in those 60s and 70s, so that fall weather is here to stay. And big chances of rain this weekend and storms. That's all I have for you right now. Back to you, Shanice and Marine.
Thank you, Carly. Last Saturday, UCO crowned our 2024 to 2025 homecoming king and queen, and their journey together made the win even more special. I had the chance to sit down with the couple, so here's a closer look at our UCO royalty.
Meet your homecoming king and queen. James Bryson and Catherine Pluckett took the crowns last Saturday, and they tell me they couldn't be more grateful for this honor.
Getting to be out there and hear our names, just really it's a very special moment.
Oh my gosh, like no way, So I was so excited to do that together, and I was filled with gratitude.
James, a senior representing Pi Kappa Alpha, is majoring in business management. He's an active leader on campus through organizations like the UCO Student Association and Leadership Academy, and many more.
I kind of just fell in love with, Greek life as a whole, and specifically the growth and leadership that I learned from my fraternity. So getting to represent those men was really a special moment for homecoming for me.
Catherine, a senior marketing major and vice president of Leaders of Tomorrow, says being involved has been the highlight of her college experience and an influence on her growth.
From their encouragement that I've gotten involved, and then you kind of flip that around and you take on more leadership roles, and then you bring other people in as well. And so those are the things that kind of fuel me to be involved.
Adding to the excitement, winning as a couple made the experience even more special. Reporting from UCO, Shanice Hopkins, UCentral News.
Philadelphia's district attorney has asked for an emergency hearing on the dispute over Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway to voters. Prosecutors have alleged Musk's daily giveaway violates Pennsylvania state lottery laws. The judge ordered Musk to respond to the request by Friday at 10 a.m. Prosecutors have hoped the judge would have the result by Thursday. The DA also criticized Musk for trying to move the civil lawsuit into federal court, which he said was an effort to delay the case. Musk did not appear at Thursday's hearing. Also named in the lawsuit is Musk's American Super PAC, which gives away cash prizes. Musk has donated more than $118 million to the group.
Now, it may be Halloween, but that's not the only spooky thing happening. Now, those storms last night were pretty scary, to say the least. Carly will have our full look at weather when we come back to see if they will continue.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man. Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Good afternoon, Broncos, and welcome back to UCentral. We're looking at our current conditions. We are sitting at 64 degrees, sunny outside, winds coming in from that northeast at about 6 miles per hour with those wind gusts at 9 miles per hour. Humidity is at a 50%, but it's making it feel just a little bit hotter, which is at a 67%. Looking at across the state, as you can see, OKC metro area is at a 65. We're pretty much 60s all across the board, except for we have a couple 70s down in the southern part of the state in Ardmore and Idabel. But going into tonight, it is going to be 44 degrees and it will be dry and clear. Those winds are going to shift a little bit coming in from the east at about 4 miles per hour with those wind gusts still filling at a 7. Humidity is going to raise quite a bit to 80%, but we do not have any chances of rain tonight. But tonight across the state, as you can see, we are mainly 40s across the board. Guyman's kind of pushed in a little bit with up in the Panhandle with 39%, and then 54 down in Idabel, which is our hotspot for the evening, and then 46 in the OKC metro area. Going into tomorrow, like I said, we are going to see those 60s and 70s stay within this week. We are finally in that fall weather. OKC metro 73%, Enid 71, and Woodward at 73. Looking at our Bronco game day forecast, we are going against Missouri Southern on Saturday, November 2nd. Kickoff is going to be at 2. Up in Missouri, as you can see, we do have a little bit of chance of rain. We are going to have a 20% chance of rain up until 3 o'clock, and then it's going to bump up to a 25%. So if we do not see that rain coming, it will still be a little bit cloudy, still going to be a little bit chilly. So if we have our fans traveling, we are going to want to wear that light jacket and be prepared for some rain. And lastly, looking at our 7-day forecast, as you can see, we do have those chances of rain coming in, and we also, don't forget, we do need to set back those clocks. We have fall back on Saturday evening. We have it a 75% chance of rain on Saturday, 60% chance on Sunday, and then that 55% on Monday. And then the voters were rushing to the polls on Tuesday at 61 degrees, perfect day for some voting. And then Wednesday, we are going to be sitting at a 64. Maureen and Shanice, are you excited for this rain? I personally love the smell of rain. How about you?
I think it's consistently rained on Halloween for every past couple of years, so I'm glad that it's raining finally. How do you feel about those fall temperatures?
I am super excited. Luckily, we are going to be dry and cool this evening for Halloween, but we are going to be seeing those storms this weekend, which we do need it, so I'm not upset about it at all.
Yeah, I'm excited for these fall temperatures, but I'm more excited for the hour setback.
Yes, I didn't even know.
I know it's going to give me another hour to sleep. Thank you, Carly. Coming up, find out what popular Disney show is getting a spinoff.
And find out what UCO students are wearing for Halloween. Stay with us.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Happy Halloween, Broncos! I'm Riley Townsend here with your Central Social Media Breakdown. Popular singer and songwriter Olivia Rodrigo has released a new documentary. The documentary is about her tour for her album, Guts. This is her second documentary after the release of Driving Home to You in 2022. Guts was released back in September of last year. Tracks on the album include Bad Idea Right, Get Him Back, and Vampire. Olivia took to her Instagram page the day of the film's release. The caption read, "Guts World Tour is on Netflix now. I hope you enjoy watching." Rodrigo is following in the footsteps of Taylor Swift, who dropped the Eras Tour on Disney+. The Guts World Tour is now available to stream on Netflix. Olympic snowboarder and former Vampire Diaries star got engaged yesterday. After more than 4 years of dating, Shaun White and Nina Dobrev got engaged. White concocted an elaborate plan involving a fake invitation to dinner with Anna Wintour at the Golden Swan restaurant in the West Village. Instead of Wintour, Dobrev was met with White. Dobrev said, "He said all the right things. I was in shock." The couple took to Instagram to announce the news, with Dobrev posting, "RIP to my boyfriend, hello fiancé." This Tuesday, a new spin-off series, Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, based on the Disney original series Wizards of Waverly Place, premiered on Disney Channel. The show marked the return of Selena Gomez and David Henry as their characters Alex and Justin Russo, along with some new faces. Janice Leanne Brown, who plays a young wizard Billy in need of guidance. The story follows an adult Justin living a mortal life with his family, but when Alex brings Billy to him, he must dust off his magical skills and mentor the young wizard. Gomez had nothing but good things to say about the spinoff and said, "This show is what gave me everything that I have today, and I'll never forget that this is where I started." Here on campus, students and faculty are ready for Halloween. Let's take a look at some of our favorite costumes. We had wonderful Halloween costumes here at UCO with several events for students to take place in. Knights, witches, goblins, and ghouls were everywhere, all over campus. Even the football students partook in a costume competition. These were some of my personal favorites. Shanice, Maureen, what was your favorite costume that you saw on campus? Honestly, I think my friend, she dressed up as the Lorax. It was going around on everyone's group chats. What about you? My favorite had to be the ray gun costume. I thought it was so spot on. How about you, Maureen?
I definitely loved, I think 2 of our faculty dressed up as Buddy the Bronco and they're handing out candy. So I definitely liked that because I got candy at 9:30 in the morning.
Thank you. Coming up, UCO Volleyball has 2 critical home games this weekend.
And were the Thunder able to remain undefeated last night? Ian Nickel will give you more details when we return.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. there's fun to be had. So much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Time to provide you all the treats from the sports world. We'll start off with the UCO women's basketball team as they played a scrimmage last night against in-state rival East Central. The Bronze and Blue won the not-so-secret scrimmage over East Central 58-49, thanks in big part to Carly Wadsworth's performance. Wadsworth had 17 points and went 4 of 8 from three-point land. Women's basketball head coach Emma Andrews had this to say about the seniors' performance.
Yeah, I think that just tributes to the fact she's been in the gym a lot in this preseason. And they're shooting a lot with my assistant coach and a couple of the kids. And I think the more time that Carly can spend in the gym, the more confidence she has when she's on the floor. And so she has a very quick release. And so when it looks smooth and it's all in the natural flow of the game, it goes in.
The Broncos will begin their season in the land of 10,000 lakes versus St. Cloud State on November 8th. Broncos football will gallop on over to St. Joseph, Missouri and hope to bounce back from the Pittsburgh State loss last week. Despite the fact that the Griffins are 3-5 on the season, they've been competitive in almost every game they've played in. Not only that, but they're coming off a bye too, so they're well rested. The Broncos and Griffins will kick off Saturday at 2 p.m. for the in-conference showdown. And these last 3 games of the regular season for the Broncos are super important because they want to accomplish something that hasn't been done since 2003, a playoff appearance. Broncos volleyball is the only fall sport in town this weekend, and 2 opponents will come in from the Show Me State to the haunted Hamilton Fieldhouse to take on the 21-2 Chos. First, the 13th ranked Broncos will battle the Jennies of Central Missouri as the Broncos look to start another winning streak. UCO versus UCM starts tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Then the following day, the Missouri Southern Lions come into town. Most Southern is 3-19 and on a 5-game losing streak. That game will start at 2 p.m. Over the pitch, the Broncos only have 1 game this weekend and will have to travel to the Berg up in Kansas to play it. The Bronze and Blue are named as one of the top 10 teams under consideration in the central region of the D2 soccer tournament. With 2 games remaining, every game matters from here on out. They take on a feisty Pittsburgh State team looking to continue their season by reaching the top 8 in the conference. Game time is set for tomorrow at 2 p.m. The penultimate week of high school football regular season is upon us, and playoff spots are on the line this Friday night. First, Deer Creek is seeking to host a first-round playoff game, but have to take on Big Bad Bixby. The good news is for Deer Creek, it's at home. The bad news is it's still Bixby. Next, the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs will be living on Tulsa time the next 2 weeks. First, taking on Broken Arrow. Should they beat the 3-5 Tigers, a date for the number 2 spot in 6A1 District 2 will be at play. Edmond North and Edmond Santa Fe are fighting to get into the playoffs right now. The Edmond North Huskies take on Moore, and the Santa Fe Wolves battle UConn. All games tomorrow will kick off tomorrow at 7 p.m. We started with basketball and we'll end with basketball as the Thunder played Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs last night in Bricktown. The Thunder are looking to continue their red-hot start and remain undefeated. First quarter, Thunder up 7. Caruso fires to SGA. Bullseye. Gilgeous Alexander had 18. Lou Dort was the leading scorer with 20. Second quarter, J-Dub catches the bad pass from the Spurs. He's going to find Chet here with an open lane. Wait for it. There goes the jam. To the fourth quarter, Isaiah Joe, top of the key. He goes to the paint, gives it to Chet, brings home the bacon. Spurs going to keep up with OKC in the power of friendship as the Thunder are 4-0 for the first time since 2016, and they get the win 103-195. The Thunder travel to Portland to take on the Trailblazers late Friday night. Shanice and Maureen, happy Halloween. And do you think the Broncos will bounce back and beat Missouri Western on Saturday?
Well, Ian, you can't build diamonds without a little bit of pressure, so I definitely think the Broncos will bounce back. What about you?
I think they should too. It'll be a competitive game, I think more so than what we're expecting, but I think the run game for the Broncos will have a nice performance, and I think the Broncos will get out of St. Joseph's with the W.
We've honestly been doing so good this semester. I think one setback shouldn't, determine the rest of their season. Thank you, Ian.
Coming up, UCO students, how can UCO students safely enjoy Halloween?
And Carly Torbett will have our last look at weather after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
How much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, your friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
UCO's Roll Sober has some words of wisdom for students looking to indulge in some wicked fun this weekend. UCentral's Michaela Krause went to find out more.
Students across campus are embracing the Halloween spirit, but UCO's Roll Sober wants to remind all those who celebrate how to stay safe during the holiday.
It's really important to always know who poured your drink, to keep an eye out on where your drink is at all times to make sure that no one has done anything to it.
Grant says students should keep in mind that opioids such as fentanyl present a serious danger if ingested.
Fentanyl only takes a tiny, tiny, tiny amount to be fatal. If they were to think that if somebody with bad intentions was to think that a substance was a roofie, but it turned out to be fentanyl, it could even result in a fatal overdose, which is possible.
Grant wants to remind students that they won't get in trouble for seeking help for themselves or their friends.
Call 911 for an ambulance. And it's also important to remember that Oklahoma has Good Samaritan laws. So generally speaking, if someone is intoxicated and comes in with their friend who is having some kind of overdose situation, they're not going to be in any trouble with the law.
I'm Michaela Krause, reporting for UCentral News.
We definitely want to remind students to stay safe if they do choose to go out. Now we're going to talk about the temperatures if they choose to go out. We'll have our last look at weather with Carly.
Thank you, Shanice. Looking at our hourly forecast, around 5 o'clock, it's going to be sunny, 64 degrees. That sunset is going to go down about 6:35 p.m. It is going to be clear outside at 59 degrees. 7 p.m., we're going to be clear, 58 degrees, starting to get a little bit cooler. Those fall temperatures are finally here, and that's all I have for you. Happy Halloween, Broncos. Back to you, Shanice and Marine.
Thank you, Carly. Yes, we want to say happy Halloween. Do you have any plans tonight?
I am going out with a few of my friends. We're going to dress up as Disney princesses. I know I'm going to be Cinderella. What are you going to dress up as?
You know, I have one of those last-minute Halloween costumes. I think I'm just going to be something that's in my closet. But that's all we have for this Halloween edition of UCentral. We want to remind you guys to stay safe. I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Marine Dirk.
I don't ever know what we're supposed to...